Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen. Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Tasliman kathiran kathira. First of all, Eid Mubarak. Kullu aam wa antum bi khair. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be with you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all the good that you did in these 9 days preceding Eid and the good that you are doing and will do today. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your udhiyah, your sacrifice, your qurbani. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you, as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you will be rewarded, which is one good deed for every hair of the animal that you slaughtered. I want to remind myself and you about the spirit of Hajj, the spirit of this day and this period. And for that, let me tell you a story. You know the story. Let me repeat this beautiful story. There was a man, and what a man. A man whose concern from his earliest childhood was not amusement or friends or earning, but Allah. Allah, his creator and our creator. A man who was bothered and concerned and perturbed that people did not worship their creator and instead worshipped what they had created in their minds and with their hands. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us the stories of His Anbiya alayhimus salam, His prophets and messengers, so that we could reflect on them and use them as a template to measure ourselves and see what we and our lifestyle choices and priorities and concerns and goals map onto. Do they map onto that ideal that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala set up and set out for us, or are they away from this ideal? This man, boy really at the time, had such a relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he spoke to him. And his Rabb Jalla Jalaluhu not only answered him but told us the story. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in this beautiful ayat of Surah Al-Baqarah, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذ قال إبراهيم ربي أرني كيف تحيي الموتى قال ولم تؤمن قال بلى ولكن ليطمئن قلبي قال فخذ 4 من الطير فصرهن إليك ثم اجعل على كل جبل منهن جزءا ثم ادعوهن يأتينك سعيا واعلم أن الله عزيز حكيم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and remember when Ibrahim alayhi salam said, my Rabbi, Arini kaifa tuhil mauta. Show me how you give life to the dead. Remember, he didn't say, tell me how you do it. He said, show me. And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, see the response. Allah said, Avalam tumin, you don't believe? And Ibrahim alayhi salam said, Qalu bala, of course I believe, but to be stronger in faith. And he, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, now Allah gave him a whole project, this boy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, get 4 birds, take 4 birds, then cause them to incline towards you, that is tame them. Then when they are tame and they come when you call, slaughter them, cut them into pieces, chop them all up, and then put a portion of them, meaning chop them all up, mix it all up, and then take portions and put a portion of them on every hill, and we don't know how many hills there were, and call them, and they will come to you in haste. And know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is almighty and all-wise. My brothers and sisters, ask Allah to show you His signs. Believe me, He will show you. Ask Him to show you your signs. And learn to recognize His signs when He sometimes shows us without asking. Build a personal relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remember that the kalima, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, which enters us into Islam, is not a statement of information, but a statement of relationship. The first question in the grave, which is our next destination, is a question asking about our relationship with Allah. Let us build that relationship such that when the question is asked, the answer will automatically come. And who knows, if that relationship is strong enough, then someone else will answer that question when it is asked, not you. This beautiful ayat of Surah Al-Baqarah, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us about this incident in the life of Ibrahim alayhi salam, illustrates that relationship. Please reflect on the tone of this question. Rabbi arini kaifa tuhil mauta. Does it sound like this is the first time this conversation happened? Or is it something that seems to follow a pattern? The pattern of conversation between two who know one another intimately, who love each other so much that nothing else exists for them when they are together. I am constrained by language and syntax. This is not to say that the two in this case are equal. They are not. One is the creator, the other one is the creature. The two can never be equal. But the relationship is such that the creator decided to tell us about it and to present it to us as a standard for us to aspire towards. Then see the reply to the request. Is it a reply? Or is it an indicator of such deep love and affection and lack of formality and so on? I have no words to describe except to say, Ya Rabbi, we are also your slaves. Ya Rabbi, I don't equate myself with Ibrahim alayhi salam. But I am your slave. I am your Abd. Have mercy on me. Ya Rabbi, have mercy on us. Have mercy on us. Because only you have mercy. Nobody has mercy. Only you have mercy. Only you are Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replied. And see the reply. Such a beautiful reply. Avalam tu'min? Don't you believe that I can do it? To which Ibrahim alayhi salam says, Qala bala walakin liyatma'inna qalbi. He did not say, yes, I believe. He said, Bala. Of course I believe. Once again, reflect on the tone in these two parts of the ayah. This is a conversation between two who know each other very well, are totally familiar and comfortable with each other. They talk to each other all the time. That is why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if Ibrahim alayhi salam said this to be stronger in faith, we have an even greater right to say it. I will not go into the rest of the ayah here. That is the topic of another khutbah, and I have done that before, and you can listen to that. Just stay with the spirit of this conversation, because this is the spirit of Hajj. This is the spirit of being a Muslim. The spirit of Hajj is the spirit of the one who loves meeting his beloved. That is the spirit of Islam, of total submission, where there is no difference between what the slave wants and what his Rabb wants. What do you want? I want whatever you want for me. That is the meaning of Rida bil Qada. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant it to us. Not just accepting the Qada, which is the destiny that Allah wrote for us, but being pleased with it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about Ibrahim alayhi salam, إِذْ قَالَ لَهُ رَبُّهُ أَسْلِمْ قَالَ أَسْلَمْتُ لِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. When his Rabb said to him, submit, he said, I have submitted. He did not say, I will submit. He said, I have submitted myself to the Rabb of the Alameen, to all that exists. Now please note, who is the witness to Ibrahim alayhi salam's submission? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. Fast forward, this man now, who is in his 80s, his young wife and their newborn baby, are on a journey. And this journey, Google says that the shortest route between Palestine and Mecca is 930 miles. That is 1497 kilometers. That is like New York City to Minneapolis or Tampa. They walked. At that time, this was not a caravan route, which it later became. Was there a road? I don't know. We're talking 4,000 years ago, as on today. Obviously, Ibrahim alayhi salam did not have a map. Who showed him the way? I know it is easy to answer this question. There can only be one answer. But let me ask you, will you be comfortable to go somewhere that you are completely unfamiliar with and make dua, Ya Rab, please show me the way back home. And then you drive along the route that comes into your heart. To do that, you need the connection. You need the connection. And you need the purity of the receiver, which is the heart, to read the sign correctly. In our world today of phones and so on, and Wi-Fi and the internet, we understand all this. How many times have we tried to download something and you get the circle going around and round and round, nothing happens. Same phone, the phone hasn't changed its shape. It's just that the connection is weak or it is broken. That is what we need to work on. Now when they arrive at their destination, a barren valley in the middle of nowhere, no habitation, no people, no cultivation, no market, no food, nothing. Just imposing, intimidating mountains, black rocks all around. There the man leaves his wife and child. A child that he was given after begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for decades. His firstborn, his heir, his only potential successor. He leaves them and turns away and departs. His wife, she's human like him. She's terrified of being apparently abandoned in the wilderness to the mercy of whatever, elements, and to the mercy of the elements and whatever the mountains conceal. All potential threats to the life of her baby. She calls out to him, "Where are you going? Leaving us here?" He does not reply. He is marching to another tune, to the orders of the one who ordered him to bring them there in the first place. He is connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His wife, she is human like him. She asks, "Are you doing this on your Rabb's instruction, on your Rabb's order?" He nods. He doesn't speak. He nods. Not because he has no respect for her, not because he does not love her, but because that is the instruction given to him. Do not give explanations. The test is for both of them. Does not. He nods. She says, "Then go. Go. Our Rabb will not allow us to perish." Cut the relationship of the dunya to connect to Allah. Cut the relationship with the dunya, with this world, with this life, with our technology, with our resources, with our money, with our friends and our connections and network, if you want to connect with Allah. Cut doesn't mean physically cut it. Doesn't mean give up all your friends. No. It just means cut the reliance that we have on them. Understand that if we are doing what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us to do, He will not allow us to fail. It makes no sense that Allah brings you to some place and He makes you fail. It makes no sense that Allah gives you a job and He does not allow you to succeed. Stop relying on the external environment. Rely on Allah and rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then when Ibrahim alayhi salam passes over the fold of the land and reaches a place where they cannot see him, he stops. His Rabb told us what he said to him. رَبَّنَا إِنِّي أَسْكَنْتُ مِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِي بِوَادٍ غَيْرِ ذِي زَرْعٍ عِنْدَ بَيْتِكَ الْمُحَرَّمِ رَبَّنَا لِيُقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ فَاجْعَلْ أَفْئِدَةً مِنَ النَّاسِ تهوي إليهم وارزقهم من الثمرات لعلهم يشكرون. O our Rabb, I have made some of my offspring to dwell in an uncultivable valley by your sacred house, the Kaaba in Mecca. See the adab of Ibrahim alayhi salam. He says, I did this. Whereas what is the reality? The reality is he only obeyed the order. But he's not saying, you know why I did this, now take care of them. No. He says, oh our Rabb. He never leaves his position as the Abdullah, as the Abd of Allah, as the slave of Allah. It is the position of the slave to ask, to beg. So he says, Ya Rabb, I did this, I brought them here to stay in this valley next to your house. Why? In order, our Rabb, that they may establish as-salah, iqamati salah. First thing, I brought them here so that they will pray, because this is the place where nobody seems to have prayed. Huh? He didn't say that, I'm just saying it. Wallahu alam. so that they may establish a salah. And then next, so fill some hearts among people with love towards them. Give them influence. And then he says, oh Allah, provide them with fruits. He's not asking for bread and some pickle, no. Tertiary benefits, higher benefits. Provide them with fruits so that they may give thanks. Ya Rab, who is it who inspires in the hearts of those he loves words that span the centuries to ring true in the hearts of those who love him? See the order of things that Ibrahim alayhi salam has asked his Rabb for. I am not going into the details of this dua. This is another beautiful thing for us to think about. But let me suffice to ask you to reflect on what you would have asked in such a situation. What I would have asked, I remind myself. And then see what Ibrahim alayhi salam asked. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us this connection. First thing I would have asked, and I guess maybe it's the same thing for all of you. The first thing you would ask is safety. Ya Allah, help, keep them, preserve them, protect them. And what is wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that. He didn't ask. He said, I brought them here to establish your worship, so let them do that. And the rest of it. Meanwhile, our mother Hajar alayhi salam does not sit and wait. She doesn't say, okay, so Allah brought us here, He will take it. No. She knows that she has to do something. So she makes the best effort that she can make. And this is the meaning of sabr. To make the best effort and trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the results. Make the effort, your best effort, and then make dua and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His help. Hajar alayhi salam did that. She did what she could to assess her situation and see what was around her. So she climbed the nearest hill, Safa, and looked around. She saw nothing. Then she descended and came to her son, who she had left at the bottom of the hill. Then she went towards the opposite hill, Marwa. As she walked towards Marwa in the valley between the two hills, she must have said to herself, let me hurry. The child is alone. So she ran until she came to the bottom of the slope of Marwa. She climbed the slope to the top of Marwa and looked around. Nothing. She returned. Once again in the valley, on relatively level ground, she ran. Then she checked on her baby, and then she climbed Safa again. She did this 7 times. She made the best effort that she could. That was the only thing she could do, and she did it. She made sure that she played her part. When you do the best that you can do and make dua, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answers. No exceptions. Jibreel alayhi salam came and dug Zamzam for them. Water that has been coming out of the earth now for over 4,000 years. The help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes when we have completed our effort. Whatever may be the challenge in life, domestic, career, politics, health, organizational, whatever, make the best effort that you can make and then make dua and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The help of Allah will come, inshallah. There's no doubt about this. Fast forward. The little baby for whom Zamzam was dug is now, as his Rabb said, old enough to walk with him. Who? Old enough to walk with the father. Ibrahim alayhi salam returns to visit the wife and son that he had left there some years ago. What kind of mother was Hajar alayhi salam? Single parent, raising a boy, no news of the father, no idea if she will ever see him again. Yet the child is raised up true to type, a son worthy of being the son of Ibrahim Khalilullah. A son worthy of being the son of Ibrahim Khalilullah. Alayhi salam. A son destined to be a prophet also. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala once again is the best witness and describes what happened. Allah said, فَلَمَّا بَلَغَ مَعَهُ السَّعْيَ قَالَ يَا بُنَيَّ إِنِّي أَرَى فِي الْمَنَامِ أَنِّي أَذْبَحُكَ فَانظُرْ مَاذَا تَرَى قال يا أبت افعل ما تؤمر ستجدني إن شاء الله من الصابرين فلما أسلم وتله للجبين وناديناه أن يا إبراهيم قد صدقت الرؤيا إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين إن هذا لهو البلاء المبين وفديناه بذبح عظيم وتركنا عليه في الآخرين سلام على إبراهيم كذلك نجزي المحسنين. Allah said, and when he, the son, was old enough to walk with him, he said, the father said, O my son, I have seen in a dream that I am slaughtering you in sacrifice to Allah. So look, what do you see? He said, O my father, do that which you have been commanded. Insha'Allah, if Allah wills, you shall find me of the sabirin. You will find that I will be patient. I will be among the patient ones. Then, when they had both submitted themselves to the will of Allah, and he, the father, had laid him, the son, prostrate on his forehead or on the side of his forehead for slaughtering, and we called out to him, Ya Ibrahim, you have fulfilled the vision, you have fulfilled the dream. Verily, thus do we reward the muhsinun, those who do ihsan. Verily, that indeed was a manifest trial, that was a very difficult test. And we ransomed him with a great sacrifice of a ram, and we left for him a goodly remembrance among generations to come in later times. Salamun ala Ibrahim. Salam, peace, blessing, protection be upon Ibrahim alayhi salam. Thus indeed do we reward the muhsinun, those who do ihsan. I'm sure you will recognize the symbols and all that I have narrated to you. Hajj is the reward. It is the remembrance that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted Ibrahim alayhi salam and his family for their dedication to him Jalla Jalaluhu. They loved him and he loved them. And so he made their actions into the manasik, the core rituals of the greatest acts of worship, which is the greatest of the acts of worship, which is prescribed for us only once in our lifetime, the Hajj. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decreed that these actions be performed by all those who love Him as actions of worship, the reward for which is the forgiveness of all sins. The spirit of Hajj is the spirit of obedience, of love, of seeking the pleasure of Allah. The Hujjaj do not care about comfort of clothing or food or accommodation. They are there only to please Allah, to seek His forgiveness and to ask for a new beginning. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts their dua on completing Hajj. The Hajj and the Haji is free from sin as he was on the day that he or she was born. That is the message for the rest of our lives. And that is, only and only obedience leads to success. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Jalla Jalaluhu to be pleased with all of us and never be displeased. Kul Ram Antum Bikhair, Eid Mubarak to all of you. I request you for your dua, for myself and my family. جزاك الله خيرا وصلى الله على نبي الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.